Okay, let's get this party started. So, oh, just real quick, if you didn't grab those, here's Nanette and my email addresses. If you have any questions or want to follow up with anything that we went over here, or just want a refresher down the line, feel free to shoot us an email, and I'll pull this slide back up during lunch so you can grab this if you need it. This person, by the way, does not work here at Premier, so I don't know who this is. It's a very nice photo, so I grabbed it offline. All right, so what I'm going to give you right now is a Microsoft Dynamics CRM roadmap. How many, I heard a lot of GPs went through, how many also have GP or CRM deployed? Okay, so you guys will find this most interesting. The rest of you, it's just good information if you're looking at any kind of customer relationship management software. I think it could be argued that Microsoft is currently moving quickly towards the crown as far as applications out there. They haven't held that definitely yet, but they're working real hard and they're doing really well. So let's take a look at what CRM has accomplished so far, Dynamics CRM. So they've got 3.8 million worldwide users now on Dynamics CRM. That's both on-premise and online. That represents 40,000 customers worldwide. CRM Online, which is Microsoft's hosted CRM platform, has grown 80% since it's been launched. I want to say a little more than 2 years now is all. And as far as adoption goes, CRM 2013 was released at end of last year, and that's a 93% adoption rate on that product. So that's how many have upgraded to CRM 2013. That's definitely, that number is large because of the online service. Of course, everybody there got upgraded, right? So Microsoft didn't really give much of a choice there. So that factors into the adoption there as well. A weak area, if there has been one for Microsoft CRM, has been its mobile. And the core of that would be build once, deploy everywhere. Microsoft is focusing on being able to develop and customize CRM on the web front end and have that web front end display and be consistent everywhere you use it mobily. That means they're going to be deploying apps more regularly for the mobile devices, and they'll be pushing more browser support as well. So if you're maybe on an app that's not, or on a device that's not yet currently supported, you'll be able to grab it through the web browser. So the app deployment will go Windows 8.1 will be the first. No surprises there. They're gonna eat their own dog food. And then iOS is the next based on market penetration, and Android being the third. To date, there's not yet an Android app produced by Microsoft that's approved, but that's coming very soon, and we'll cover that in a moment. The next focus will be disconnected apps for sync and offline use. That's meaning if you're traveling, you're heading up to an airplane, you don't want to pay $14 a minute for Wi-Fi on the airplane. It's better than that, but it's pretty bad. Then you can disconnect your app, sync down data that's relevant for you, work on that on the flight. When you land, you get Wi-Fi again, or LTE or whatever. Sync back up to the server, and that data will all interact. So they're pushing hard to increase that capability. So far, all we have that on are laptops with Outlook. That's pretty much the only functionality you can get that through. And then the final thing is having an open platform. And what that means is that it's not only going to be functional on any browser that you bring to it, but it's also going to be very pluggable from the back-end side. So if you're looking at building up, I don't know if you're aware with CRM, there are multiple third parties out there that build entire applications on top of CRM. We use one here called PSA. It's a project management tool. It works very well for us, integrates with Outlook, and is entirely functional through CRM, but really is a separate software program. So that open platform is something they want to continue to push. They want developers to be able to build inside, use that framework and the structure on CRM, and grow something big from there. And then multiple backend support. When I heard this, I thought, Linux? CRM on Linux? No, that is not what they're doing. When they mean multiple backend support, they're really talking about providing enterprise-grade security with the ability to connect up and interconnect with your ERP system, with SharePoint, maybe through a web service API to another type of ERP that's non-Microsoft. They really want to open up the gates and let data flow in and out of CRM in a secure and controlled fashion, but really more of an open one that will allow folks in and out access to their own data. I'm going to make sure. All right, so here's a quick look at what 2014 is going to be for CRM. So in the first quarter, Microsoft has acquired a company called Parature. Has anybody ever heard of Parature? Great, you're in the same boat that I was in a couple weeks ago. I had not heard of Parature, but I've got a nice video that will give you an idea of what Parature does and what it brings in. It's really kind of a critical component now to be engaged with clients, especially if you're B2C on social media. So Parature brings that in, and I'll discuss that in a little bit. We're going to see a release of Microsoft Dynamics Leo, and this is an add-on pack and update to CRM 2013. In fact, all of these are updates to CRM 2013 anywhere you see a dynamic CRM release, but they're bringing new functionality. So they're not just a service roll-up release. These are actually bringing a big chunk of functionality into the system. New feature sets, and in some cases, entirely new dashboards and that sit on CRM by Microsoft. Microsoft Social Listening, which is their first baby steps into interacting with social media when your customers are tweeting or referencing your company that way. Maybe they're on your Facebook page and referencing you, or even emails coming in, is all kind of the social architecture that Microsoft's trying to engage in with CRM. So we'll see the first baby steps here in this quarter with that integration. Coming in the spring, as we move into spring and summer, we'll have Microsoft Dynamics Marketing. This is an entirely new product by Microsoft. It's built in a very similar way to Microsoft Dynamics CRM, but it is entirely for marketing and marketing management. So setting out marketing campaigns via email, social media, even calling if that's something that you're still doing or it's important to your business. So Microsoft Marketing will roll out, be an additional product add-on, and I've got a little video from the PGA Tour who's gotten a chance to use that in advance, and they've got some interesting things to say about how that's helped. In the summer, we'll see our next release of Microsoft Dynamics Libra. Right now, Microsoft's not too informative on what that release is going to be, but they are promising extensions of all the existing tools, plus something new along with Libra. And then Vega that follows in the fall is the same story there. So Microsoft has adopted this position of fast release. So basically they were getting a lot of flack in the past years of not releasing and dealing with updates and patches fast enough. And they're seeing their competitors do this pretty regularly. If you're an iOS user or even Android, you see that there are regular releases out to their applications and their operating system. They stay on top of their bugs, they stay on top of everything. Microsoft does small security patches, but they don't do product re-releases that really squash a lot at one shot. And so they're really pushing. You can see they've got a lot of releases set for 2012 or 2014 here to deal with that stuff. Even on products they're just releasing, they've got updates following. And that's where social listening comes in there in the fall. Revamp and update to that product. And Dynamics Marketing gets its first update within a little more than a quarter, right after release. And then by the end of the year, we'll see full Parature integration. And when I run that video, it'll be a lot more clear what Parature does and why that's a meaningful integration. Okay, so what we do know a lot about is Leo, which is the most recent or forthcoming update to CRM. And what we're expecting out of this are workflow enhancements, a new package deployment tool. This is for vendors or individuals that are building custom CRM and then deploying it multiple times over. They're going to build a new tool that'll allow you to package up all your customizations and transport them more easily. Right now, in order to do that, you do it with a solutions management tool that allows you to capture any of the custom entities and feeds in segments. So you've got to kind of pick and choose which ones you're going to grab and which ones you're going to move. This will be a little bit more of a group grab. They're going to increase their export feature set. That goes back to that back-end option of being able to move data around. They want to see more ability to get data out. And a new configuration migration tool. What that does, if you're running CRM in an environment where you need to do a lot of testing before you roll out changes, which is in general that's the way it's happening. Right now, you're using that packaging tool or the solutions management tool to move your customizations back and forth between those test, development, and live instances. What this configuration migration tool will let you do is just move that configuration from one deployment to the other without having to do the packaging system or without having to do the solutions management, without moving your data over, just the configuration, the settings. It's really huge from a backend perspective where I'm at. Right now, we fumble with this all the time. We're always trying to move these configurations and customizations back and forth. It's a little bit of a frustration currently. Looks like this is our savior here. They're going to improve Visual Studio Toolkit updates, better programming, and one promise that, and this is huge, that they're finally going to deliver these to on-premise and online at the same time. On-premise has kind of been the unappreciated stepchild of Microsoft lately. Their online has been their focus, and they've taken a lot of heat for that. They're just organizations that it doesn't make sense to host, right? To have it in-house makes more sense. So as it stands right now, in the past, what we've seen is browser support for online, but no browser support. You're still stuck using IE for on-premise. That got resolved with an update roll-up, and then after that was, well, you can use the iPad app with on-premise or with online, but you can't use it with on-premise. And then that got patched. But from here forward, they're going to just give it to us on both platforms. They're promising, this is an interesting one, a non-disruptive will be a first for me, but it's a promise nonetheless. Hopefully they're able to hold true to that. But as it stands, their plan is to release this in such a way that they're not fundamentally altering anything you've got built into the system other than security updates, really providing new feature set. That's what the goal is there. Customer Care Unified Service Desk, which we'll cover a little bit. That is a new feature, almost an entirely new bolt-on app for CRM that allows for customer service management, incoming calls, and later for incoming Twitter feeds and Facebook, that allows you basically to provide CRM to a customer service representative without a lot of customization. Right now, if that's something you wanted to do, we'd build that tool for you. This customer service desk provides a lot of integrated features that avoid that customization. And then improved server-side Exchange and SharePoint sync. Right now, each of those synchronizations happen over a third tool that sits in between, sits on the server of either SharePoint or Exchange, and they're looking to do away with those and have direct integration from CRM and SharePoint without that additional tool. What's that?
The online slide for the remote.
Oh, she's a little behind. Okay. I'll have to wait a little bit more before I start. Yep. Okay, so let's take a look at that customer care management tool. I stole this slide right from Microsoft. That's why it's a little blurry. All the other ones I made. But anyway. Okay, so first of all, this is going to be able to roll out to a mobile device. So if you do have customer care people in the field, they'll be able to use this interface right on the mobile device. This unified service desk is an all-in-one desk that grabs information as a customer engages. So let's say that you've got the phone number coming in from the individual that's calling for assistance. That phone number will immediately pull up their contact information. We'll be able to do validation things like, can I get the last 4 digits of your account number or your social security number to validate and allow me to access the account, all built into this customer service desk. You'll be able to see how the customer has interacted with things like your website, like your social media. So you can kind of maybe have a little bit of a picture, your reps will have a picture of what the customer maybe has been dealing with before they even made that engagement with you, before they even made the call. It's full case management. So as the requests come in, it builds a case, builds a workflow, processes that case through to completion, make sure you're following up with the customer the entire way through. If you've got specific entitlements associated with a particular customer, those will fill in based on fields in CRM. So if they're entitled to a 1-hour response time, a 2-hour response time, the workflow will automatically adjust for that and make sure that those bubble up to the top, and the customer care representatives take care of those first. And then service level agreements kind of ties in as well with the entitlements, but if there's a service level or a promise to deliver, the customer service rep will be notified about that as well. So I attempted to get some more information on this customer service desk and some more screenshots, but unfortunately, even as a partner, we don't have early access to Leo, so I couldn't get that, and there are very limited screenshots out there. Even the slide decks that they had at Convergence, they were not willing to share. So made an effort. I wish I could show you a little more detail, but believe me, we'll be having a lunch and learn to cover this. If you're using CRM, we'll get you some information as soon as Leo hits the ground. Okay, so let's take a look at what they're doing with social media. So now within CRM, coming with Leo, you'll have social media profiles per contact and account. So the account will be able to have the corporate Twitter, the corporate Facebook website or Facebook page, and corporate LinkedIn. Those are the 3 areas that they're covering right now. And accounts will have the same thing, an individual Twitter reference, an individual LinkedIn reference, and an individual Facebook reference. What those will show is real-time feeds of public posts. So if it's a private post, those aren't going to show up in there. But if it's a public post, you'll see them right in the CRM display. You'll see what your customers have to say about your organization, or even what they're saying on their personal posts within the contact card. And then we'll have the early starts of social activity tracking. This is very baby step right now with Leo. It's not going to be much. We're going to be able to see a history, kind of dig in and see what maybe some posts that have related to your company. But that's as far as it's really going to go right now with Leo. They'll be expanding that as time goes on. And then with Leo, as far as mobile application enhancements go, we're going to finally have a native Android app. It's been a long time coming. They're going to release a brand new Windows 8.1 app. Details on that are not fully available right now, but they plan on having a new release in that sphere. And then a feature that really should have been there from the beginning and is hard to imagine not having, but it truly is this way right now. I don't know if any of you have experience with the iPad app at all right now, or if you've used it. If you marry the iPad app to a CRM development or deployment right now, congratulations, you're connected to your deployment. If you need to log out and log into another deployment, you can't do that. The only way to do it right now is to uninstall the app, reinstall the app, and then reconnect to the other deployment. So I don't know how that one got overlooked, but they're fixing it in Leo, so that's kind of a big deal. Okay, so I've got a short video here that will go over the PGA Tour and a little bit of a overview of what they found feature-wise, and then we'll talk about the features on the other end of this video that are coming with Microsoft Marketing.
The PGA Tour is professional golf at its highest level. And when the opportunity arose for us to work closely with such a well-respected organization, we jumped at the chance.
The combination of young players and veteran players performing on huge stages for us week in and week out, and the competitive friction that exists. Household names on the one hand, and young players who are becoming household names very quickly on the other hand. I'm not sure that we've ever had a more exciting time at the PGA Tour than we have right now. We play over 100 tournaments a year around the world across all 3 tours, the PGA Tour, the Champions Tour, and the Web.com Tour. We're in over 225 countries and territories, and we pass through 945 million households, and our telecasts are broadcast in 23 different languages.
Microsoft Dynamics marketing software is the perfect tool for a company like the PGA Tour, whose marketing efforts extend across multiple media with a variety of content and with many high-end sponsors.
The brand marketing team at the PGA Tour has a lot of responsibilities within our organization. It starts with strategic marketing for us and then leads all the way through to the development of our advertising campaigns.
We track over 500 individual pieces of creative annually across all our campaigns. And those pieces extend across all media types, really, which is millions of dollars in media value for our partners.
Today, there's so many ways to reach our target audience. With media being splintered, there's so many different ways to consume advertising and promotions.
We knew we needed one system to house all of our media assets, and what we liked about Microsoft Dynamics Marketing was we could take the creative side, the media side, and the trafficking side, and house them all under one roof.
Microsoft Dynamics Marketing functionality really made us more efficient. We can share detailed reports with our partners like FedEx, Schwab, Web.com. It's really helped us not worry about the data so much, but think about the strategies that allow us to focus on the right things. In the past, we'd assemble the values from TV, assemble them from print and digital, and sum it up in a report with overall media value for a partner and say, this is how we're promoting your property. Now with Microsoft Dynamics Marketing, we can get pretty granular. I mean, we can track the amount of exposure an individual player gets, and that's a benefit to his sponsors.
Our partners have certainly noticed a difference. We're becoming more transparent as it's become more important for our partners to see the value of our promotion. Dynamics Marketing has helped us be way more efficient than we ever have been and allowed us to show our partners how much value we really have in our brand marketing department.
A tool like Dynamics Marketing we see as something that's really flexible for us, so we're pretty excited about the future.
So we're gonna nitpick through some of those features that they mentioned in the video. Here's some of the core components. So the goal of Microsoft Dynamics Marketing is to build deeper customer insights. You know, what are our customers looking at as far as social media is concerned? What are they consuming and how are they getting it? It'll be coupled with a visual campaign designer that really works like a workflow. So it's kind of an if this then that type of scenario. So you're going to launch an email campaign. If a user comes back and clicks this link, you're going to launch maybe this response back and so forth. It's going to build. They're looking for reduced complexity, faster customer engagement, and finding out customer behavioral data. That goes back to finding out what are they doing online and how are they consuming it. It's built around team collaboration so that as you're pushing out your marketing, you know, one group of the team doesn't necessarily overstep the process that another team is working on. So all the data is there, produced and brought forward so that everyone knows where the marketing campaign is sitting at any given time. Social network and exposure tracking, real-time business intelligence, which is part of the Power BI tool that Microsoft will be bringing out here soon, and trend discovery and heat maps, so you can look on a global level if what your reach is, or even on a nationwide level what your reach is as far as your social media and your campaigns are. So that's kind of a quick look at marketing. It's the same story with marketing. I'd hope to get a demo here for you, but again, pre-release product that we're not even getting access to. So. Yeah, so the real-time BIs, have you seen has anybody seen the Power BI tool that Microsoft's working out? So basically it's Power BI built into your marketing data. So you'll be able to do, yeah, just on the marketing side. Yep. So you'll be able to dig into the marketing details that you're pulling out your marketing data in a in a kind of a logical and straightforward way. If you've seen the Power BI, you can basically type out, I want to see this plus this, and then countered against this, and then it'll pull all your data out. So that's what they're trying to deliver with marketing. Okay, let's talk. Well, rather, I'm going to fire off a quick video about Parature, and then that's going to wrap up our CRM roadmap. And this video coming up here will give you just an idea of what Parature actually allows you to do and what they're planning on baking right into CRM.
Today, customers engage with organizations like yours through social media, posting questions and concerns that used to tie up support team phone lines. Your customers are now spread all over the digital universe and posting for everyone to see. Unfortunately, you don't have an army of reps to manually monitor the social media realm. So how do you provide reliable, real-time customer support without the right tools and resources? Parature Social Monitor lets you engage with customers through social channels. When comments and tweets that require support are directed at your organization, Parature automatically categorizes and converts them into tickets. Tickets are then routed to agents who respond on social networks through the same agent console used for traditional channels like email, web, and chat. So you now have a 360-degree view of all customer interactions. So manage your customer service while maintaining customer engagement.
All right, so I want to bounce back and just go over, just to be clear on what exactly Parature does. So what the Parature application does and will do in CRM is it monitors what's going on from social media that's related to your organization and develops trouble tickets based on that. So let's say, and definitely I've done this before too. I have an experience with a company that I don't love, or maybe I do love, and I send a quick tweet out, and I throw their Twitter account name in there just to catch their attention. Well, that's what my hope is in. I'm catching their attention, right? What Parature does is rather than having a team of people sitting on the Twitter feed and monitoring, waiting for that to happen, Parature captures that and pushes that through to a customer service rep as a ticket, as a trouble ticket. And when that customer service rep then evaluates what's going on, they can start a Twitter conversation back and forth through the company's Twitter account, gather information, resolve the problem, hopefully make the customer walk away happy, all in a way that all that data is collected, all that history is collected in CRM. So the next time there's an engagement maybe from that customer, you can look back and go, well, they had this problem with this product, and they just bought our new product, and they're having a similar problem. Maybe you react a little bit differently. So Parature allows not only social media through Twitter, but Facebook and email as well. So it grabs all these channels of communication where a customer might be trying to engage with you creates a ticket, and then it lets you respond back from from that company position with authority back to that individual, and then gathers all that data. The next customer service rep has all that stuff. So really, really powerful tool. Right now, if you're not using something like Parature and you're a company that's engaging them socially, you really are having to have someone stare at the Twitter feed and deal with that interaction as they come through. Parature cleans all that up, makes it a lot easier.
So, sorry.
Sure, no, you're good.
So is Parature partnering with Microsoft, or is this just
By force? Microsoft bought them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep. They are partners now. No, yeah. There was an agreement that came through and just finished up. I want to say it was the end of January they finished the acquisition.
Products, they partner license and then they carry for 5 years, and it's like, oh, we're pushing back off.
You saw that happen too with GP, right? Yeah.
Yeah, only here.
Yep.
So this is not one of those.
This is not one of those. Parature is being merged into Microsoft. Yep. So it'll. Good question. I hadn't seen the number, but I bet it wasn't cheap. It's very good technology. Okay, so we're done with CRM. We're gonna roll into Windows 8.1. So I just want to properly weight this. You'll note that I'm using a Mac. I'm somewhat of an Apple fan. I've been happy with their products, but as I said at the beginning of this, Windows 8.1 and what Microsoft has done to improve that product has been huge. So if you were like me at all when Windows 8 came out, you were kind of like, what in the world was Microsoft thinking? Why were they alienating? Why do they want to alienate all of their customers all with one operating system? That's how I felt about it. They made some significant changes, all without a clear message of why they were doing it. So initially, Windows 8, very sour for me. I was not impressed with it. I was not pleased with it as a product. I felt like it was a hindrance to productivity more than anything. And so I had a lot of pushback. What Microsoft's mission was, at least Windows 8, was this. This is what didn't get stated. They wanted to build devices and experiences that people love, but still keep the enterprise-grade solutions that business requires, right? But Microsoft is well embedded into business. They couldn't make a move that was too drastic without impacting that, and they wanted to find this nice balance where everything intermingles. So that was kind of the communication that didn't get made. Microsoft's perspective on that is that they don't believe desktops are going to disappear anytime soon. And in general, that appears to be the way things are going. But tablets bring an obvious value to computing. So why impose heavy limitations on the mobile OS? Why not have everything available everywhere and make the interface and experience consistent from the tablet to the desktop? I have to feel like if that was something that was clear to me from the beginning with Windows 8, I might not have been so kind of offended by the way that it was released. So what I want to do for you now is show you what happened with Windows 8.1. Microsoft, I believe, has solved a lot of problems here. They've built up an interface that is now very, very functional and very productive, and solved, I'd say, most of the problems that they were having with Windows 8. So I am running Windows here. I guess I have to stop my slideshow. I'm running Windows in a virtual machine on my Mac. Maybe. There it is. Let's make sure you see that on the remote too. There we go. Okay. So what you're seeing here is Windows 8.1. We're logged in as me right now. And let's start with the lock screen. So first thing that you see on the lock screen is that this is a cloud-enabled lock screen. So you're seeing the background image kind of rotate through. That's being driven from OneDrive, which is formerly SkyDrive. And as long as you're connected, it'll pull these images through and cycle them through. It's kind of a nice little thing. Normally what I have here is pictures of my kids and stuff, but I decided to do some more scenery stuff for this. Additionally, on the lock screen, I've got some obvious stuff. I've got the time. I've got the date. I've got my calendar, the upcoming event that's next to my calendar. We've got a quick little icon down here that'll show me how I'm connected to the network, my battery status, and if I've got any unread emails. I can bump that up with up to 8 other applications that will give me some feedback on this lock screen if I want. I could have Facebook feeds plugged in here. I have Twitter feeds plugged in here, that sort of thing. Now from the lock screen, I can do two things. I can unlock the computer or tablet. Well, there's my kids. Or I can, if I'm on a mobile device, if I swipe down from here, I'll go straight to the camera. So that's a pretty common type of interface thing for a mobile device. So if I click here or swipe up on a mobile device, I'll get to the unlock screen. So what you're seeing here is called picture password. Is anybody, I meant to ask, is anybody using Windows 8 right now? Anyone in this room? You've got Windows 8? Are you up to 8.1? Not yet. Okay, you're going to want to roll that. It's really great. So have you used picture password?
No, I prefer using it.
Like type in password. Okay. So if you like this, it can be turned on regardless of what your environment is. You can turn it on in a domain. You can turn it on a local network, whatever. Oh, by the way, so what you just saw there was actually part of that cloud feed. That was my Facebook photo and my guardian angel, which moved faster. You notice her head was in her hands there. So anyway,
She's overworked.
she's way overworked. Yeah. So with the picture password, what I do is I can set up a series of gestures on a photo, and that will enter my password for me. And this works a lot like a biometric system. Scan your finger, it passes the password through. That's what the picture is doing here. So I'm not great at the gestures, especially on a touchpad, so I just stick with the clicks. So I could do a circle, I could do a line, that sort of thing for a gesture. I like clicks, so I click my oldest daughter's head, my youngest daughter's head, and then my wife's hub on her motorcycle there. That gets me logged in. I need to change my password. Anyway, so that's how the photo password works. You can set it up, like I said, with a bunch of gestures. You can use any photo you want to do that. So I kind of like it, especially on a touch device. It's a really nice, fast way to jump in. You can use a keypad if you want to do number pad as well, or you could just do your regular type-in password. Okay, so that brings us to the start screen. So the start screen is what has replaced the start menu. That really got me riled up and got everybody, I think, frustrated with Microsoft because they gave us this and didn't really explain it so well. But what you'll see is most everything on the start screen is alive. So we've got some live tiles here showing the weather, what's going on there. We've got, if I wanted to have it turned on, which I don't right now, I've got my calendar. It will show me my upcoming events in my calendar. Mails, it'll flip through some of my unread emails. I've got the Huffington Post app down here that's going through their headlines slowly. It's working through their headlines. And the same story with the finance app here. It's showing some stock values. These can be turned off really easily. If I don't want to see the Huffington Post, I can tap and hold on it if I'm on a mobile device, or right-click on it and turn that live tile off, and it'll just kick back to the icon. So if that much motion is driving you crazy, you can kill it. I kind of like it. Within here, I can customize to my heart's content. I can go nuts here. So if I want to maybe move some of these icons around on a desktop, on a touch device, I tap and hold, and I get this. And then I can go through and click multiples if I want. If I want to move these icons around, it's going to group them all together. Let me know I have 3 things here that I'm dragging around, and I can position them, wherever I want to in this start screen. So there's a few ways to get to that customization. I mentioned that you can right-click off if you're on a desktop. You can tap and hold if you're on a touch interface. If you're on a mobile, you can swipe up from the bottom, and this comes up. Or you can right-click anywhere to get that bar up if you're not specifically right-clicking on an icon. So that's some of the customization that's on the start screen. Let's talk about cloud enabling this start screen. So if we log in with a Microsoft account, this doesn't impact your domain login if you're on a domain. It doesn't impact your regular local login if you're on a local login. But if you tie this with your Microsoft account, what you'll get is a unified experience across all your devices. So things will shuffle a little bit, but even on my Windows mobile device here, all my icons that exist on my desktop here exist on here, and they're in relatively the same order. So I've got a more narrow screen here, so it kind of pushes them around a little bit, but they're all there. That includes the picture password, if I change that. It includes the cloud slideshow that's on the lock screen. So a lot of the customizations that you set up in Windows 8, if you're running a mobile device, they carry over. So you've got this consistent experience that runs across multiple devices.
Which is nice, not having to reset your desktop every time you move.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a really nice thing. So in fact, I'm at Convergence. I'm carrying this thing around. I went and downloaded an app. I come back to my laptop and it's there, waiting for me when I got there. So pretty cool. All right, so then the next question is, or at least for me, was where is all my stinking software? Like, where did it go? Because there's no start menu. So Microsoft, initially, they didn't have a great way for you to get to that stuff. In fact, the only way that I could find, start searching for something here. And then once I found what I wanted, I'd back that back out. And on Windows 8, what it would then display is this. So here's my apps display. The way I can get to this from Windows 8 is there's a couple options. If I'm on mobile, I just swipe up and it'll slide in. If I'm on the computer, it takes me into this. Right now, the way we're seeing it, it looks a lot like, if you look closely here, it looks a lot like the start menu. So there's my category. There's my items within it. Everything's broken out a lot like the start menu was. It's just in a little bit of a different display. But I can organize these if I want to by name, or I can order them by the date they were installed.
So can you put like Excel as a little file on there for if you wanted?
Yeah, so on the start screen, not here. So if I go to Excel, it's
I
fine.
think you use most common.
Yep. And I tap and hold on it, or right-click on it, I can pin that back to start. And there it is, right there on the start screen. And if that's too...
Section to put all those, like your Excel and your Word, all in a section. I mean, I think mine's
Yeah. Yeah, so you can choose to do that. In fact, since you brought that up, let me show you. Let's go back to the apps here, and we'll click over to kick over to Word. And I'm looking right past it. I know it. There it is. Thank you.
Any app in that section.
Yeah. Thanks.
It seems like a Microsoft.
Yeah, you can put anything you want in there. That's right, and you can remove what they've got in there. So there's Word. Let's pin that to start as well. And actually, select a couple things here if I want to, and pin all those. Here and go to customize. It's put them in their own group. So I can call this Office, and there's my group. And if I think these are a little large, which especially because they're not full screen apps, I can shrink these down to nice little regular icon size. And then if I want to drag these icons out over here and have them in a different category, I can. So you've got full control on how you get these around. And then if you're
the hardest thing has been just all these things and how to manage all this, and all the little tricks to go, oh yeah, you can go over here and you can make it bigger.
right, and all the great
Especially like
documentation
this
that's been
nobody
provided,
teaches
right?
you that all this stuff is there.
That's why I'm here for you right now, buddy. Yep. So yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, this is stuff that was not really provided. I think they were hoping on intuitiveness, and it wasn't 100% there. You know, it's kind of getting better. So this is where all your apps are living if you're looking for them. And this is called the All Apps section. You know, we can just swipe around to see what's in here. Now, to get back to our start screen, we've got this arrow, as I mentioned. We've got the Windows key either on a mobile device or on your keyboard. We'll do the same thing to get you back there. Or the last thing, and I'm sure you've seen this, you've had to use it, is the charm menu. If you bury your mouse in the bottom right corner on a PC, you get the charm menu. If you are mobile, you just swipe in from the right side, and that's how you get your charm menu. So let's go over these charms real quick. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Let's drag that out of the way for a minute. So what we've got here is Microsoft's search feature, which they call Hero Search. And it's a little lofty, I know. But I'm going to show you why it's actually one of the coolest search features I've ever seen, and extremely handy. You got the Share charm, which allows you to print, tweet. It's really contextual, so it depends on what application you're in, on what your features are in that Share charm. There's our Start button to take us back to the Start screen. Devices will show us any printers that we have installed, and we can check any jobs that are going on with those printers, or any Bluetooth stuff that might be connected. We can take a look at that as well. And then Settings is a contextual menu as well. And I want to show you what the difference is really quickly before we move on to search on Settings. So here I am. I'm in the Start screen, and I go to Settings. The settings that come up are related to the Start screen. So I've got personalization for the Start screen. I can change my colors. I can adjust what tiles I see, whether the administrative tiles show up, or I can get some help on that, right? However, if I'm at my desktop and I go to that charm menu and go to Settings, totally different settings menu. Now I've got control panel. This is really more about the system. Control panel will take me to my traditional control panel. I've got personalization, which is the right-click and personalization that you're used to on the desktop. Oh, I guess I kind of glazed over that. From the start screen, the desktop is a tile, and it's considered like an app. It functions like an app, even though apps run inside of it.
I know where I used to get lucky. You just click on the screen and type what you want.
Yep, that's one of.
That's where my godsend is. I don't know what I need.
That's
to do.
right. From the start screen, I showed a little bit earlier, but from the start screen, you can start typing what application you want. It'll find it. Yeah, it is a very. In fact, when I'm using Windows, even though I have icons, that's 90% of the time that's how I get to my app. I'll just type it and go. And that comes from me being a Mac user. On Mac, there's let's see if I've got I think I have to bounce out to get to it. No, I'll show you later. Anyway, Command Space in Mac does the same thing. It brings up a search tool that lets you search for something. So, yeah, it is a godsend. You're right. It's one of the greatest features.
You could have that and not even change files in this at all, and just go to the search.
That's right. That's right. In fact, since you brought it up, you can go straight to the desktop. If you don't like the start screen at all, you can virtually bypass the start screen entirely if you want to. This is only in Windows 8.1, but if you right-click on the taskbar and you go to Properties and jump into Navigation, you've got some pretty powerful options here that will get you past the start screen if you don't want it. This one is it. When I sign in or close all apps on my screen, go to my desktop instead of Start. If you check that box when you log in, you go straight to the desktop, which is what we're most familiar with anyway. And then this other one is if for some reason you really don't ever want to see that start screen, you can choose to go to the apps view automatically when you go to Start instead. So it'll pull up all those apps like the start menu from before. So you can get away from that start screen entirely if you wish. You can still get back to it, but as far as your daily interactions, those two checkboxes would by and large get rid of that start screen for you in most cases. Okay, so let's take a look at Hero Search because it's pretty cool. With Hero Search, not only does it search your computer for applications, it searches you for your documents, it searches for all that fun stuff, but as far as a contextual search, this one's kind of genius. So let's just say that I wanted to find out some stuff on John F. Kennedy. Hero Search is going to go out, and because I typed in someone of note, it knows what to do. It knows the basic kind of information I might want to find. So right out of the gate, instead of searching through my files, or instead of searching through documents, it has those in the results list, but it pulls up John F. Kennedy. Here we got a nice photo of him, a little blurb from Wikipedia that he was exactly 6 feet high. I don't know anybody that's exactly anything, but all right, exactly 6 feet. That was cool. I'm short, so I'm a little jealous, but whatever. Some movies John F. Kennedy referenced in, and photo search right here. And then as we keep moving to the right here, we get a little less and less specific and a little less detailed and a little less accurate maybe about John F. Kennedy. Right? So we can keep going. The photo search, I kind of stumbled across a pretty cool feature in here, which I thought was amazing, but I guess it's just part of Bing. But from here, I can right-click or swipe up from the bottom and search, and if I only want to see black and white photos of Kennedy, there they are. Pretty great search. So, other than famous people, let's say that we wanted to search for, I don't know, the greatest television show ever produced in the history of time, which of course is Firefly. No, that's not what I wanted. Let's go back. I forgot to go back here. There we go. Let's try that again. Firefly. Here we go. Hero Search knows I'm searching for a TV show. So, average runtime is 44 minutes. It was produced in 2002. There's the Wikipedia entry. Some videos related to it, the cast. If you haven't seen Firefly, you are really missing out. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's fantastic. Sadly, only 9 episodes, which makes me tear up a little bit every time I think about it, but great television show. And then again, as I move off to the right, you know, we get a little more off into the actual animal, well, I guess insect, right? Let's go back and search for possibly one of the greatest movies ever released. Galaxy Quest. If you haven't seen Galaxy Quest, you are missing out in life. I'm telling you right now, the best. Chock full of great humor and sarcasm. Galaxy Quest, so here we go. This was the killer one for me. My wife is always asking me about the movie I'm going to show my children. What is it rated? And I'm like, I don't really know. It's some. Hey, I know now. I can go search for it. So we got the rating here. We've got the reviews. Look at those reviews. Those are huge. Come on, name a movie that gets that much. Nah, come on, really. I'm telling you. Yeah, got to see this. Related movies, maybe. And then here's the IMDb page, Wikipedia. Killer search feature baked right into Windows. Now, if I'm a techie guy, so if I'm going to go look for an error message, this is not the search I'm going to use. But as far as general knowledge information about things, which is probably 70% of the searches I do, here we go. Great search tool. So go see those movies and television programs right away. How about closing apps in Windows 8? So if you're using a full screen app, if you're on a mobile device, you just swipe from the top down. It closes it. If you're on a PC, up at the top, you'll see it turns to a hand. And it's the same basic motion. Just drag down, closes it. Kicks you back to the start screen. If I want to flip between apps, just bury my mouse up in the corner here, and this will bounce me back and forth between any apps that I have open. There's my Dropbox that I have accidentally opened earlier. Right? Okay, so we talked a little bit about the desktop. The desktop functions just like the desktop that you're used to. It does what you expect it to. But I want to show you like possibly the most powerful feature that's now been added to the desktop. And this one truly won me over for Windows 8, being the geek that I am. This is the most powerful right-click I've ever done in my life. This has just about everything that I care about from a technical standpoint, all in one menu. I can go uninstall software. I can go see what's connected to this thing from the Mobility Center. I can adjust my power options. I can go check out the event viewer from here. I can go look at the system specifications from here. What devices are connected, my network connections, see what's going on with my storage on here. Computer management, which bundles a lot of these together into one display. I can launch a command prompt, or even better yet, I can launch a command prompt as an admin, which is really what I wanted to do in the first place. Task Manager, Control Panel, File Explorer, Search, the Run box. I can shut down and sign out right from here, or I can kick back to my desktop. And the reason why that desktop one is here is because this button appears when you go to the right corner in the start screen.
All right, this part covers GP Smart Lists using Excel Report Builder. Something I did not even know existed until I went to Convergence. We've been focusing primarily on getting me up to date and up to speed on the smart lists. It was I liked it. The fact that you could just do refreshable reports without having to log back into GP, without having to go back, start it over, reformat, redistribute. You know, you have to reformat, save, and then distribute. It was really nice. Be able to put a smart list, be able to put your smart list in a shared folder. Anybody can access at any time as long as they have GP, what are they called, GP permissions. They can access.
So it doesn't have to be the full-on license. It can be the $200 or whatever it is.
Just permissions. So. All right. So we're going to cover what is Excel Report Builder. We're going to learn how to create them through GP, and we're going to demonstrate them by showing you how to create a new one. Some of the things I've already preset and logged in and everything, so we're just going to give you a nice, pretty overview of what it's capable of. So what is Excel Report Builder? It is pretty much a smart list that's refreshable without logging into GP. You share it, you save the files into a shared folder on your network that anybody has access to. They can open the Excel report, refresh it, and if they've got permissions in GP for the data, they'll have access to it. It pretty much follows your Active Directory system permissions. So if they log into GP and they've got access to HR, financials, and so on, those are the folders they're going to see. Smart List Builder module has 4 parts. I've only listed 2 because we're kind of only covering 2 today, but they've got the Smart List Builder, the Excel Report Builder, they have the Navigation Builder, and they have the Drill Back Builder. Covering our Excel reports. Once in GP, you have to do the Smart List, and then you have to export to Excel. Then you have to format your data again, and then save it. and then you can distribute it, which can be time consuming. If anybody here has run a large report, how long it takes GP to compile your report before you can even export it to Excel. Once we do this once, in the future, you can just go back to the folder with the Excel report in it that you've already downloaded, click refresh, and it pulls in current data. And it's filterable just like Excel is. You can filter it, change it, move things around, and everything else like that. I would recommend renaming it when you save it, or you might have somebody come hunting for you. And it allows you to say the user-friendly names. You've got your columns aren't some ambiguous, OMB underscore, where you're going, I don't know what that means. Like I said, it uses Active Directory security. So even though they're not logged into GP, it's looking at their permissions. All right, we're gonna have fun.
You have to switch your screen again. It's still showing the thing. So,
Some of it takes a second to.
Switch back to screen one. So, switch back to screen. Hit the arrow. And then a little drop down underneath the pause button.
On this little micro screen
Yeah.
I have.
Okay. It's coming up. There we go.
Okay, and this is from your GP login. This is from your GP. No, it's not on the overhead.
Oh. Yeah, you'll have to end your slideshow. End your slideshow.
Yeah.
That works. There we go.
Here we go.
There we go.
All right. From here under GP tools, setup, system. We've got reporting tools set up. This is where we're going to connect it. This is pretty much how you're going to get this company, the company, multiple companies. You can do anything your GP is connected to. You can connect to the Excel report builder. And it's pretty much just a check. I've already deployed, so you've got, it's already here, but it would pretty much list the companies that are your databases that are connected, and you just select which databases that you want the Excel report writer to have access to. Right? Under Excel reports, we have network share or SharePoint. The thing they mentioned in the conference was that if you're going to use SharePoint, make sure that you're writing out to a page that everybody has access to. They get a lot of help desk calls because they're connecting to SharePoint, and then they find out that 3/4 of their users can't access it.
So the most common one would be the network share.
The most common one, I think, in a business atmosphere would be a shared folder. Everyone has access to the network. Everybody has access. Usually you have a public folders or public files that you can share across the network. I'm setting mine to a desktop. Just for this demonstration here, but this is what you would really find where you want to connect it to. And then again, this is GP. It will in a second. I took comfort from the fact that it was doing it to me.
Hey, there it is.
I have Fabricam deployed here. If you have different entities set up on your network through GP, you have different companies set up. You can set up multiple companies. And again, with your users, if they're opening a file, they're only going to see what they have permissions to. And then we click deploy reports. Because I've already deployed it. This takes me a couple of seconds. It could take me a couple of minutes, depending on how many smart lists, how much data you've got out there to deploy to. See here. This is the file my desktop file. You'll see reports, and you'll see data connections. Data connections are the actual queries and the data streams that your reports use and the data directly to SQL. Those are the kind of folders that you might want to make. Those are the kind of folders that you might want to make your IT staff, maybe your admin users only. You really don't want your standard users kind of messing with your data files. Your reports folder is what you're really storing it into. Click on reports. If I had multiple companies set up, you would see all of the company folders here. And then here are all your folders, just like your quick reports and GP. And like I said, your users, if they only have HR, payroll, they only have HR in the payroll folder. HR and admin rights. Yeah, I don't have been given permission. No, you can make your own. Just like you build a smart list.
So does Dynamics create those folders? Like you said, you wanted it on the desktop. So would it create all those folders for you?
That was the import. That's what it built that whole thing in. It dropped all of the Excel reports into. So if you've got your smart list built and you've got your smart list saved, it's going to dump it into the, when you do the deployment, it's going to include those reports into your reports. Yes. Active Directory controls. Well, you won't do anything. It's already there. If you've got Great Plains access, your Active Directory system administration rights have already been set up. This is just going out there and grabbing them to see what you're allowed to see. But most users aren't going to be able to change it.
You're in a very liberal network if they're allowed to. You're in a very liberal network. That's very trusting. Very trusting.
See, in this particular case, you can see, my filters are still here. I only wanted to see 2016. Your auto filters are still here. Everything is still here. And when you save this, you're saving the settings. It doesn't save the data. The data is always imported when you open it. So it's not actually saving the results. It's just saving the format. If you want to save the results, you'd actually have to go in and rename it. And then, of course, you lose the refreshable. Your refreshable part. No, it saves. No, it saves the connections. It saves the column settings. It'll save like that, but no, the filters. It'll save like just a selection. It'll still pull in all of the data. It could leave the filter in there. Excel has kind of a mind of its own. It kind of does its own thing. So there's not always a guarantee you're going to get the same thing. The data's still there. It's just the data's still there. Check it or recheck it, or change the date, or change it. These are all smart lists that have been built. I just deployed them. Correct. Right. Well, the nice thing is that all those things that you already did, they're there. You don't have to reinvent the wheel to start this out. So everything that you currently have in GP, under your smart list, your favorites, everything that you've built, you do this deployment, they're already there. You just have to go to the shared file, open folder, click Excel. You don't have to import anything. You don't have to do anything like that. You just open it, make sure your connection strings are. I just didn't enable it because we're kind of It's Fabricam, and I know connected. But normally, what you would do is you would open Excel, and if you've enabled that access, it will automatically populate the table with your data. In my case, I have to log into the server. For it to populate. And then under this data tab here, this is where your refresh is. Refresh all. Refresh all. So should you have old data and something, you can refresh it. If you're working on it in the morning, and you leave it up, go to lunch, you come back, and it might be, especially for like payroll or maybe accounts receivable or something like that. You want the newest stuff. You would just refresh it. It'll just pull in all the data that's been entered. But again, you don't have to go back. Go to Smart List. Upload it. And then re-export it. And reformat it. It'll save it. Yep. The other thing is, again, they kept going on. Make sure the people that you want access to the report have access to the file that you're saving it in. Okay, let me see. See this here? You can actually set this up so that it has the trusted rights. I'm just not doing that. Like I said, I didn't want to auto connect it to Fabricam. And for some, it's a security feature. You might want to leave it in place. It's here. Period. Count. Let's try building a new one.
I'm gonna go from Smart List to the whole Smart List.
Go through the whole process. It's here under Tools, Smart List Builder, and you can see we've got our Excel Report Builder. And this is where you can create a new one, or select an existing one to make changes. We're going to create a new one. We'll just give it an ID. This is like Smart List.
There's a few.
If I had a bunch loaded, you would see them. But I don't have any. The report type, you have the list and you have the pivot table. And then here, under tables, this is where you're going to add your table. We've got our Microsoft GP table. Microsoft Dynamics GP. We're going to use financial. Let's see, which ones do I want to use? Anybody want anything in particular they want to build? Make a suggestion.
You have to go under RM. You have to go under RM.
Homeless customer summary. Did you want to go?
We can do. Yep, let's pull in. It's RM customer. Here's a master, as you can see here to the right. We have all of the column names. And then here, where it says display, you just check which ones you want to include in your report.
And until you you move it, it'll come over in the same order. Until you move it, it'll
Yeah,
come over.
comes over just like this. Yeah, this is the order that they display. If you were to pull this is the order that they display. This is just the order it display, column display. This is just the order. They're not in any numeric order. They're not in any numeric. So let's do customer number, customer name. Let's do customer number, customer name. Keep it simple. Let's just try and keep it simple. Let's try address 123. Address 123. State. Zip. Zip. Work. Okay. Publish right here. Okay. Publish. Which is just publishing it to Excel. Which is just publishing it to Excel. The view name. The view name. And this is just what it's doing is it's creating. And this is just what it's doing SQL, is it's creating a view. And this is a view that can be used by anybody. And this is a view that has access to anybody. So once you create it. It's just a view connecting these particular tables, these particular fields, and anybody who needs to maybe bounce or pull some data from your particular report can just use this view. It's stored in the dynamic, so it's still GP. It's just under their view. So it's still in the company. It's just under their view in the company. And this is where we're publishing the report. And this is where we're publishing the report. And as you can see, it pretty much plugs in all of your data for you. You can change any of these at any time if you need to. Here you can see the permissions. Here you can see the permissions. These are the permissions. Should you need to change them? Should you need to change them? I don't know that there would be a great reason changing them, other than maybe an HR manager would want to keep a report specific to maybe management, instead of having the entire HR department. But other than that, this is just pretty much following the permissions anybody's got, the general permissions under this table. So people who log in, whatever permissions they have, if they have permission to see that table, these will be checked. These will be checked. We're creating the report. Oh. We're creating the report. Oh.
Didn't like your file.
It didn't. It didn't. What part didn't it like? What part didn't it like? It really didn't like it, did it? It really didn't like it, did it? Yeah, it wiped it out. Generally, it would write it, and then you would then now see it under the sales folder with the list of the company. Of the company name will always be first. So if it's a multi-company, you're going to see two is Fabricam, but should you have it, it's your company name. It'll be the company. What is it? It'll be the company database.
Well,
their company.
Well,
Their company. It'll tell you which database it's connected to here. It'll tell you which database it's connected to file name. Then it'll have the and it's again, you just double click on it. It's again, you just double click on it. Correct. Then like I said, that was the really exciting part of me watching. That was the really exciting part of me watching. You could write it once. You could just write it one time. You can then access it from a tablet. You can access it from your phone. You can email it to yourself. You can email it to yourself. It's available. You don't have to go through logging into GP, going into Smart Lists, having to re-pull the data or re-pull it up, wait for it to compile, and then export it, and then hope that maybe you understand what the column is. Just looking at the data. This pulls it all in. Just open Excel. And it's just open the folder. Yeah, unfortunately. I've had some familiarity with it. And again, these format just the same as Excel spreadsheet. Change columns, you can change it. You can move them around. It doesn't. Let's put it over here.
Was it all enough to throw in those,
Yes, and that's and that actually is a really good thing. What you see in blue here, and it depends on your settings on Excel. You can change the colors. The colors are all up here. I could make them pink. I can make them yellow. Anything that you see in the colors is your data binding. That's the data that you're data binding. You go on here to the white. This is just comments. And it doesn't save this. Unless you, again, change the name, save as, it'll save your comment. A lot of people find it nice just to make comments on the report, save it as is, and your comments are always there with in this particular instance. But if you move, if I were to copy this here and move it here, it won't refresh. I've now taken it out of the formatting. So it'll completely wipe it out. And it doesn't save. So when you pull the report next time through Excel, that column will be gone. And this is where I said you have to be careful. If you start moving things around, you start changing what you're actually processing when you pull in your data. Be careful when you save it, because the next person that comes along that uses this report might go hunting you down because it shows who last. It keeps a record. Excel always will show you who last touched it.
So as long as you move an entire column,
as long as you keep it in the formatted area, the colored area, as long as you keep it within this colored area, it'll always be there. It'll always refresh. And refresh again is under your data tab. Anybody have any questions?
Was there any way by security to give them the rights to this, pull it up, but you can't pull it up, say that back and change it?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, you can't write it back into GP.
Manipulates it. So the way I would try to handle that, the way I would do it is just set the file as read-only. It's
a good thing too.
And then when they open it, they should be able to plug in all the data. And if they just hit save, it won't let them. It'll force it just to save, it won't let them.
Yeah. The upside to this also is that you can open another tab. Open another tab. You have the data. Let the first tab in your worksheet be your raw data. Copy your table over to your second sheet, and then you can manipulate it. You make pivot tables, you can chart, graphs, you can manipulate all the data that you want. It's still tied to the refreshable page on the front. So when you refresh your first page, it'll update all the sheets that are attached to this report. But you can at least the data itself stays untouched. You know it's still coming in the way you need it to. You're just allowed. You can manipulate it more on the second. Third, fourth spreadsheets. Our sessions covered a lot of the graphics that Excel does, a lot of the tables, a lot of the reports. It's a real powerful tool. And I got really excited because I've been one that's done a smart list and not paid attention to what I'm doing, and I download. I'm doing a list on all customers, and it's. I go lunch. I'm waiting for it to fall and go to lunch. Whereas Excel, straight back to the database. That report that took 35 minutes to go in SmartList takes 5 minutes on Excel. And it populates as it pulls it. But it's a really effective tool, especially for those complicated reports. When you're pulling data from 6 or 7 different areas, compiling it all into one report, it was a pain in the butt to get it built to begin with, and stuff. And it's just in the formatting and getting the dollar signs in there, getting that all done, and then to have to keep doing that every single time you want to run a report, especially if it's a weekly or monthly, even a quarterly report. It's nice to be able to just go in, double click on a folder, select the file, and it throws it all in. And like I said, if you have And like I said, sometimes your CEO needs one set of data, one set of results from this information, and then maybe HR wants different set of results from the same information. They can have their own tabs. And once they pull it up, they can refresh their tab, and it's still based off the data that's coming in on the first sheet. And again, takes seconds. And the nice thing is Excel works a lot faster on your tablets or remotely than GPUs.
We're next month is budget. We start doing budgets for the fiscal year. And I'm thinking if I put the data, we've been putting it in Excel, and then we'll make it back to Peachtree, and it's just the internet again.
All right.
Instead of doing it that way, if we were to put the budget amounts and accounts for things, and then refresh it, we can still get the spreadsheets the way we want them.
The nice thing about this is if I were right now just to minimize the screen, go into GP, I enter a whole bunch of stuff, new data. I go in here, I hit refresh, I go in here, I hit refresh. Because in GP, as soon as you save it, it uploads to the database, and this is connected directly to the database. It's not connected to GP. It's connected to the database. It's connected to the database.
Yes, because, we've got 18 programs or something, admin and development, and,
Well, you haven't deployed GP yet, right? You haven't deployed GP yet, right?
we're in the middle of it. We're very, like our seventh rendition
Only 7.
What's the foundation for the whole thing?
Yeah.
Well, this will simplify it. Once you get everything in there and up and running, so this is kind of like your budget at a glance.
Instead of doing advanced efforts, we'll be changing stuff,
Right.
and then we go, okay, well,
Right.
yeah.
There's a software company out there called E1, and they're the one who did this, the session for me. They just recently got this Excel report builder back from Microsoft. Microsoft had them under their umbrella for about 5 years, and they just got it back independently. They have a software package that goes with this that has a lot more capability. You can actually put data into the Excel spreadsheet and write it into GP. That's what I said, but they were looking at it, and there's a lot of people out there that would love just to be able to on a spreadsheet and then be able to write that spreadsheet into GP, and it populates the streams. And of course, it doesn't affect your database until you post. So,
Very popular feature with them.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
my husband loves Any other questions? Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, and this has a lot of features. There are a lot of features. But this would be I'd have to do a whole day. Just to show you all of the features and mobility. Like I said, it tickled me. I enjoyed it a lot. I just like the fact that it takes stuff and it makes you look super professional. In a click. in a click.
You can't lie well, you gotta baffle.
Yes, you gotta baffle.
All right, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you. Have a great afternoon. Thank you for coming. You guys have a great afternoon.
Did they log off?
Awesome. Okay.